Michael Cohen leaves court in New York City, April 16, 2018. Drew Unger, Getty Images, with the news that Michael Cohen, one of Donald Trump's personal attorneys, intends to assert his Fifth Amendment rights in the Stormy Daniels litigation. Parts of political Twitter have naturally and predictably gotten a little bit hysterical. While I won't repeat all the tweets asserting that this somehow helps establish the criminal case against Cohen, I'll put one below, from Democratic Member of Congress Ted Lieu. Decision to take the Fifth Amendment by @Real Donald Trump lawyer Michael Cohen is powerful confirmation that the U.S. Attorney's Office for SDNY was absolutely right in executing searches of Cohen under the crime-fraud exception to the attorney-client privilege. https://t.co/xvpvw, Ted Lieu, @Ted Lieu, April 25, 2018. No. As I've written before, when Twitter exploded over news that Michael Flynn took the Fifth, it's tempting to think that only a man with something to hide refuses to testify, especially on a matter of national importance. But in this case, it would be unfair to Flynn. We don't have any idea whether Flynn has violated criminal laws, and his decision to plead the Fifth does not in any way indicate that he's guilty of a crime. Instead, he's behaving exactly as a prudent citizen embroiled in a federal investigation should behave. There is a reason beyond our nation's respect for constitutional rights why a defendant's decision to assert the Fifth Amendment is inadmissible in criminal trials. It simply isn't a reliable indicator of guilt. Speak under oath when you're the target or subject of a criminal investigation, and you expose yourself to profound risks. It's that simple. Just ask Flynn. It turns out that he didn't take the Fifth soon enough, and ended up pleading guilty to lying to the FBI about non-crimes. For a dose of legal reality, I associate myself with this tweet, from my friend and law school classmate Ken White, better known online as Pope Pat. And now, based on my experience as a federal prosecutor and federal criminal defense attorney, a loss plainer on taking the Fifth when a subject or target in a federal criminal investigation. 1. Take the Fifth, and, Fitum Hat, @Pope Hat, April 26, 2018. Exactly so. I don't know if Michael Cohen is guilty of any crimes, and his decision to assert his constitutional rights leaves me just as ignorant as I was the day before his statement. Within the last month, 3 Democratic senators have announced their support for a federal jobs guarantee program. In reverse chronological order, they were Bernie Sanders, Cory Booker, and Kirsten Gillibrand. One by one, the rising stars of the Democratic Party are all trying to position themselves as. Read more at Politico. I wrote today about the judiciary's activism against Trump on immigration. There is a lawlessness rampant in the land, but it isn't emanating from the Trump administration. The source is the federal judges who are making a mockery of their profession by twisting the law to block the Trump. Read more. David and Alexander discuss a monstrous injustice in Great Britain and then break down the Supreme Court oral arguments in the travel ban case. Read more. President Donald Trump admitted Thursday that he knew his embattled personal attorney Michael Cohen was representing him in negotiations with Stormy Daniels, the porn star who alleges she had an affair with Trump, and whom Cohen ultimately paid $130,000 in hush money weeks before the 2016 election. Read more. The stale, cliched conceptions of Donald Trump held by both left and right, a man either utterly useless or only rigidly, transactionally tolerable, conceal the fact that the president does possess redeeming talents that are uniquely his, and deserve praise on their own merit. One is personal friendliness. Read more. Some conservative analysts are unwisely praising Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch for joining the court's 4 committed liberals to keep a felonious immigrant from deportation. These estimable analysts, including columnist George Will and the Wall Street Journal editorial board, give too much credit to. Read more. 50 years ago this week, Columbia students riding the combined wave of the civil rights and anti-war movements went on strike, occupied buildings across campus, and shut the university down. As you revisit that episode of the larger drama that was the Annus Horribilis 1968, bear in mind that the past isn't. Read more. I am not prone to anxiety, historian Niall Ferguson wrote in the Times of London on April 22. Last week, however, for the first time since I went through the emotional trauma of divorce, I experienced an uncontrollable panic attack. The cause? A few intemperate emails, inadvertently forwarded. Read more. In 2008, New York Times columnist Paul Krugman was awarded a Nobel Prize for his analysis of trade patterns and location of economic activity. Unfortunately, when writing about energy issues in the Times, Krugman doesn't bother to do any analysis at all. Instead, as he proves yet again with his April. Read more.